I'm Sarah Acton. I'm a writer, and this is Wild Writing, commissioned by Activate as part of the Micro Commissions programme. Wild Writing is also run in partnership with Stepping Into Nature. For today's workshop, all about trees, I've brought us to the churchyard, the cemetery in Eype at St Peter's Church. You might think that this is a strange place to come, a little bit morbid, but actually I love to come here to write. It's so peaceful, it's so beautiful. There are some sheep just over there in the field. I've got a sea view just to my right. I'm underneath the canopy of this huge and ancient old fir with beautiful, massive pine cones all around me. And just over my left shoulder is Colmers Hill in Bridport. So for me, this is the perfect place to come and do some wild writing. But you'll have your own favourite places. You might be in your garden, you might be in a park, you might be out on a walk, or you might even be in your own house in front of an open window or door. Wherever you are, I hope that you enjoy this session. Oh, I do hope you've got a notebook and pen with you. You'll need those in a moment. But for now, let's just land so that we can get creative. Sometimes it takes a few moments to leave behind all the rushing around, the journeying, the needing to be somewhere, perhaps not so much these days, but it takes a while to just relax somewhere. And open up your senses, start listening, being, connecting to the place where you are. So I'd like to invite you to just take a few moments. Once you start to connect, you start paying attention, find out that in a place where you thought nothing was going on, there's actually all sorts going on in the small detail, in the shared living world that we live in. And all of this works its way into your thoughts, opens up the possibility for new ideas. So let that come into your writing if it wants to today. I wanted to ask if you can hear or see any trees from where you're sitting. I'd like to invite you to write down any memories you have or stories of trees that have featured in your life, real or imagined. It might be a book that you read as a child. Could be a fruit tree in a garden as a child. It certainly was for me. A pear tree. Some of my very earliest memories of being under that pear tree, very, very small. Just write these down in any order that they come. Good to have a journal or a notebook that you can just write in fragments. Nobody else will see this, so it's just for you. I like to write in snippets, fragments, as thoughts occur to me. I'd like to invite you to write for a few minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, without stopping, about one particular tree that is featured in your life. It might be a memory that you have that's recent or very far away in the past. And it could be a tree memory that is because you really loved that tree, or it could be that there was a shadow cast because of that tree. Perhaps it blocked out the light. just write for 3 or 4 moments, and don't worry if, as you're writing, you go off somewhere else. That's part of the magic of the process, to see where the writing takes you. It's amazing how much you can write in just a few minutes. Don't be too rushed though. If you need a few extra minutes, then do just pause the video. I'd like to read you some tree poems, and then I'm going to invite you to write a poem or a story about a particular tree. The first poem is called It's a Helicopter. The first poem is called Listening to Trees, and it's by Mandy Haggith. And the birch says it's all about dancing and colour. And the rowan says it's all about berries and birds. And the willow says it's about shape and shelter. And the hazel says it's about love and lichen. And the aspen says it's about growth and the wind. But I say it's about listening to the trees. The second poem is called Tree by Pablo Neruda. Last night when the lights went out, my roots fell asleep, and my eyes remained entangled among the leaves until later, with a shade, I lost a branch to dreaming, and up my trunk climbed the crystal cold night, like a transparent iguana. Then I slept. I closed my eyes and my leaves. And the third poem is probably my favourite. It's called The Song of the Wandering Angus by W.B. Yeats. I went out to the hazelwood because a fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand and put a berry on a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor and went to blow the fire aflame, something rustled on the floor and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossoms in her hair, who called me by my name and ran, and faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hilly lands, I will find out where she has gone, and kiss her lips and take her hand, and walk among long dappled grass, and pluck till time and times are done, the silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun. So all that remains with that beautiful poem, those 3 beautiful poems read, all that remains is to invite you to write a poem or story about a particular tree. Try to write with your senses. That's so much easier when you're actually outside, when you're feeling, when you're connected, and you're participating participating in the living shared world with all the other human and non-human creatures. When you write with your senses, you'll awaken the reader or listener's senses as well. When you've finished your poem or story, read it out loud. I find this is the best way to work out if I've repeated myself a few times by accident, or to make some editing cuts, things that are not needed. But the main message from today's workshop is to try not to judge yourself. The only aim of this workshop is to put pen to paper and to get creative, making and doing. So if you've done that, you've succeeded. But try not to judge yourself. We're all our own worst inner critics. Have a go, have some fun with it, and see what happens. Good luck. I look forward to hopefully hearing or seeing your wild writing. Please do send it in. Thank you.